What does it mean that a village is unrecognized and that the country, and the state, considers it to be illegal? It means that basically all elementary services are denied from the village. This means paved roads, transport, public transport, electricity, telephone, post services, local health, local education, municipal representation. Residents of the unrecognized villages in Israel don't have any representation at the municipal level. Not just environmental dangers. We'll talk a little bit more later about the village of Wadi Annam, where there are special problems, health problems coming from environmental dangers that are not treated by the state because the village does not exist according to the planners. And the most pressing problem in a warm area like the Middle East, running water, fines and legal persecution, constant fines, constant legal persecution of all different kinds. You can hear all sorts of stories about that. And most dramatically, demolition. Demolitions mean demolitions of everything. We will see that in a moment in a vivid way. It means houses, homes, of course, shops, plants, mosques, any sort of constructions for domestic animals, everything. Demolition means demolition. I would like to screen here a very short clip from the YouTube clip from the first demolition of Araqib this summer, 27th of July, 2010. Yes. Now, when you see those pictures, you might think that this is a located problem that appears in some village that did something wrong against the Israeli law. But here you see a map of northern Israel. All the red points designate villages that are unrecognized in one way or another, whether it's solid red or empty red. It's really, we are talking here about the state of Israel. This is not the occupied territory. Here on the south, there is the north of the West Bank. This is the southern part of Israel, mainly in the Negev area, the Negev desert. Here there are many more villages, as you can see, around 40 these days. Many more citizens living in those villages, and this is the focus of the story today. But actually, we have to recognize the fact that the problem of the unrecognized villages is a global problem within the state of Israel. Any sovereign territory within Israel has this problem somewhat in some way or another. Now let's just give the basic figures. Only in the Negev desert, in the south of Israel, we are talking about 40 to 50 unrecognized villages, between 500 to 5,000 residents per village, and in total between 70,000 and 80,000 citizens in those villages. A total number, everything is approximated because of different problems that relate later. In the rest of Israel, mainly in the center and in the north of Israel, there are about 20 unrecognized villages, and in total there are about 10,000 people living, citizens of the state of Israel. Overall, between 60 and 100 villages, depending on how you define a village, between 80,000 and 90,000 citizens. And this is approximately 7% of the Arab population within Israel, among Israeli citizens. So among around 7% of the Arab citizens of Israel live in unrecognized villages. I'm not talking about illegal housing. I'm talking about municipalities that do not exist according to the government. There are many more who live. There are many more Arab citizens of Israel who live in houses that are recognized within recognized locality. So right now we are only talking about unrecognized locality. 7% of the population. Now, the two questions that we might ask upon encountering these figures and these pictures is how come? How did such a situation develop in Palestine? Second, and what can we do against it? I will not have too much to say about the activism that is being done by Israeli activists and activists elsewhere against this hard situation. But I will just say a few words about the two organizations that I belong to that try to fight this situation. Two of them, both of them are Arab Jewish organizations, which means that are Arab and Jewish activists in both of them, citizens of the state of Israel. The Negev Coexistence Forum was founded in 1997. It struggles for equal civil rights, tolerance, and coexistence in the Negev. And also the photography workshop that Ilan Montfort has started in Wadi Anna, another unrecognized village, where you can see some of the photos outside, was done in collaboration with the Negev Coexistence Forum. Many other activities are done by the Negev Coexistence Forum. You can look at the internet. The International Committee for Journalism is a more local organization that started from Ta'ayush, an Arab-Jewish partnership that was very active in the early days of the Second Intifada. And our aim there in this committee was to bring recognition to one, very small, unrecognized village in Israel to see what kind of struggle we have to do in order to make one unrecognized village recognized. I can tell you, even this very small village, 80 people, has not been yet recognized that it is in danger these days of being demolished, like what we have seen in Araqib. I could say a little bit more about the activities, but I prefer first to talk about the actual development of this program. Now, the story can be started in 1948. In the end of the 19th century, the number of non-Jewish people, Palestinians, most of the native Palestinians were around 500,000. The number of Jews was a couple of dozens of thousands. By the beginning of the 48 war, there was still a majority. I'm talking here about all Palestine, West Bank and the State of Israel and Gaza together. Before the 48 war, there was a vast majority of non-Jewish people in Palestine. Most of them, again, native Palestinians. After the dramatic change, of course, happened in 1948, where of these almost 1.5 million Palestinians, only 700,000 remain.